Oh, what's up? Welcome back to Convos with T, the podcast, where we talk about real conversations, real life experiences. And today's topic is going to be real stories and real growth. And I want to share how the words of God just made a crucial impact in my life and played a role for me to take some, incentives and to grow and some lessons learned. So today we're going to be talking about that. So y'all stay tuned. One of the most impactful ways that helped me to grow was, through God's words, the power of prayer. So prayer, so I also found, through those times of struggles that, you all have to believe. So I want to share a story with y'all. I was once also found, guidance and comfort in those scriptures. And more of the Bible stories, I found faith, perseverance, courage, and strength to know that, you don't have to have everything figured out, but everything is in that Bible. So I want to share a real story with y'all. I mean, I didn't just get to this point without going through life experience. So one of the life experience that I went through is, not being able to, see what I was going through, but trust that, I was going to one day have a better outlook on things in life. So, a long story short, I was, in a bad headspace, couldn't figure things out. I was going to get money or, make ends meet. But, we all go through those type of things, adversity and just figuring things out, when the oil field was low. Lost my job and all that, but I had to find myself between a rock and a hard place. Either give up or keep holding on to hope and faith. So that's when I started seeking Him more and just trying to understand His word, not my understanding, because it would have kept me in confusion, stuck in confusion. So I want to just tell y'all, whoever out there seeking, real growth, you got to be honest with yourself. That's where it all going to take place. You know yourself better than anybody else. So once you start being honest with yourself and start seeking His words and trying to find that clarity and some peace in your life, because you need that peace first of all, because you can't have peace and confusion in the same sentence or in the same headspace. So I'm telling you, ultimately, the words of God, it taught me, the true value of trusting and believing in Him. And, I'm not saying everything gonna just be A-OK. No, you still gonna have trials and troubles to go through, but at least you have that understanding. So now I want to talk about real stories, because sometimes in life we tend to rewrite or put a little emphasis on our stories. No, you got to keep it raw and uncut. That's what people like about you. So if you have a story, don't put no shortcuts, no exaggeration on it. Just be authentic. They just going to accept you for who you are. If they don't, that's on them. So one of the things, that's how I had to learn. I was trying to, put a little edge on it to, fit in. Like I said in my last video, if you never watch it, I recommend you go watch it. I'm going to drop a link at the end of this video. I'm going to drop it in the description. So, you try to fit in. That's not a good look for you, because it keep you stuck, because it takes a longer, more process for you to figure out who you want to be or who destined for you to be. So I learned that the hard way, lying, trying to fit in and telling, oh, I did this, I did that. And no, good and well, I ain't do none of that. But that's one of the things that in your real story. Just be honest. We all made mistakes. So, you think people gonna look at you or see you different? No, that's just a part of you, part of your journey. So that's all entitled and intact to real stories and real growth. So whoever out there that need to hear this and see this, it starts with the words of God. Because once you start reading His word, you're like, man, nobody can judge me. He's the only judge. But until then, you're going to stay just wrapped up into the things that's going on in the world and pay attention, trying to people please. And that's not good either. And by me studying and reading the Bible, I found that's like a more motivation and inspiration to me by, reading those stories and reflecting on them after, and just looking at it, like some of the words be want to grab, like just grab your face and be like, man, that's, you've been trying to do this all along. And I'm telling you, you got to have a community of faith around you. Surround yourself with likewise people, the individuals, that believer, and just leave that old stuff behind, because that always entitled to fears and doubts. And also the words of God has taught me, the true way of trust and surrender to my own selfish ways. Instead of reflecting on my ways, reflect on his ways. And I also learned by placing your trust in God's plan, you gonna feel the real transformation of growth in your life. So wherever you at, whatever you're facing, start trusting in God's plan and give up your plan. And I want you to know you can do the same thing by placing your trust in God's word, because God's words is the source of courage, strength, getting wisdom, and just knowing that you can remove your fears and doubts because you surrender into him. So I want you to remember that as you start studying his words and meditating on his words and taking it day by day. So, you got to reflect on the stories in the Bible. Like I said, they're real stories. People are experiencing that, and we go through similarity stories in our life. So I want you to read those things and find out, you might turn to the Bible. It might be a scripture that speaks volumes to you, or just the words want to lift up off the paper and just slap you in your face. Be like, man, I did not know this. All along it was right there. If you don't look for it, it's always going to stay hidden to you. I'm telling you, start turning to him. And what I mean by turning to him, start turning to him by praying. Start believing in yourself and start believing in your prayer. A lot of people always say they don't know how to pray. It's simply having a regular conversation, sharing what you going through, because he already know. He knows the beginning and he knows the end. So it's all about opening up, going to your sacred place, start learning him, building with him. And I'm telling you, by experience, you will feel the real experience of words of God to bring real life growth to your life. So I hope, you get some inspiration, some motivation, and, just some wisdom from, reading those real stories in the Bible. So I have one scripture I want to talk to you about before we get further along. So the scripture is from James chapter 5, verse 7. Be patient, therefore, brothers, until the coming of the Lord. See how the farmers waits for their precious fruit of the earth, being patient about it until it's received the early and the late rains. You also be patient. So you tell me, I'm going to tell you what the scripture mean to me. We have to have patience in the time that we're suffering and can't figure things out. You know why? Because you're leaning to your own understanding. And that's going to do damage every time. You got to trust, even though you don't see no results and feel like you're not receiving that prayer being answered, or just receiving that blessing that you've been praying for. The Lord, he hears you, he sees you, but it's lessons to be learned. So that's why I always say, don't lean to your own understanding. It's difficult when you're going through it. Nobody else feels your pain, but he does. He know how to comfort you. That's why I did this podcast of real stories and real growth. You got to go through it to, endure. You got to endure that pain that you're going through, because that's the only way you're going to learn them lessons. And then you're going to understand why you went through that, because you're going to get closer to what God has in store for you. And this is why, I choose this as the topic to talk about today, because life experience, we all go through life experience. So I just want you to stay true to yourself. And that's why I call it real stories and real growth, because a lot of us don't see none of that, or, somebody be scared to open up, or shame. You can't live in shame, because if you shame to praise him, don't try to ask for blessings. So this wrap up this episode of, life experience, the Convo with T podcast. And this topic was real stories and real growth. I hope you learned something from it. I hope you get some inspiration from this. And most important, start, reading those stories in the Bible. So until next time, bro, Much love to y'all, and y'all take care. Real fact.